And we're live.
Hello, everybody.
I think there's nobody watching, but
They will be. They'll be here.
So, all right. So, let's just chit chat until we got a few people watching.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what I think we should talk about is, I put in the description, we're going to talk about Picard and what we've watched so far. What I think about it from my point of view, being a fan, and then what you think about it from your point of view, being a normie who hasn't ever really watched Star Trek.
Okay.
Same with Joker, since Joaquin Phoenix, that crazy bastard, actually won the Academy Award for Best Actor. And my thoughts on a certain movie who did win Best Picture that shouldn't have been in the category, in my opinion. I don't think it was right for it to be in two different categories, because Best Foreign Film is still kind of like Best Picture.
Right.
So I just don't think Parasite should have got that because nobody saw it.
Yeah, and it's always been my understanding that Best Picture is just that. Everybody thinks it's the best one. How can it be the best one if nobody saw it?
Well, it wasn't that nobody saw it, is that it wasn't in a major run like others, and it wasn't, they didn't even show it at our theater. So
yeah, I'd never even heard of it.
Had the opportunity to go see it. I would have been satisfied if 1917 won, but the thing is that it won both. It won Best Foreign Picture and Best Picture. So I don't understand why that was allowed. But that's just me. And the Academy is weird. They got weirdos running the show over there. It's Hollywood. So we've got a few people watching. Hey, Sarah. It's good to see you. I need to switch over to the chat real quick and get my mouse to work. It's acting funky. I need to do Windows updates as well. I did get a new computer. That's why we're able to stream. I actually spent an hour and a half yesterday putting a new battery in that laptop. So it was the backup plan in case this didn't get set up in time. We spent all day getting stuff for it to get it set up. I didn't realize that my two older monitors didn't have display ports, so I had to do that. All right, so let's talk about Picard. Everybody else has talked about it, but what they didn't have that we have the opportunity is that because Candice has no dog in this fight. She doesn't care one way or another if the lore is, she's a normie. She doesn't watch a lot of science fiction and fantasy. In fact, she confuses Star Wars and Star Trek all the time.
I do not. I tease you and pretend to get it confused because I know it frustrates you.
Whatever. So I don't believe that, not for a minute. Hey, sweetheart, you might need to tilt your. Oh, that you're good. I'm still trying to figure out the adjustments on this camera. It makes me look odd when I'm leaned back in my chair. So that and my head's hitting the green screen, so it's a little crazy. But we need to order you a green screen for your room. Anyway,
everybody doesn't get stuck looking at your hats.
We've watched all three episodes of Picard. And just what did you think overall?
I actually liked it. It kept my interest. And that's something that you know for a fact is hard to do. And you know that I actually stop watching things after 10 minutes if it's lost my interest. And it kept it. I like that.
Yeah, so I see what everybody's saying is that everybody in charge is a woman.
Yeah.
And they all yell at Captain Picard.
Well, if you notice, there was a few times, not all the time, but there was a few times he kind of deserved to be yelled at.
I don't know.
There was a few times that he didn't, and they were just being stupid.
But so it doesn't feel like Star Trek to me. It feels more like we're trying to investigate something. And that's the difference with this, is unless they go to a different direction in the next few episodes, Star Trek The Next Generation was an ensemble story. You couldn't really do the story without multiples of the characters, right? And this is just following really just Picard. And yeah, you've got the cutscenes to the bad guys and to the little twin daughter of Data, which I don't understand. If they could have cloned Data from his positronic brain, why didn't they just clone Data? I don't get that.
See, and that's Teresa. Where I don't know enough to
yeah, wonder. And see, so going through it, the first episode was okay. He's kind of wasting away on his vineyard, like Luke was wasting away on his island. And then, the female girl who's the key to everything, just like every one of these woke shows up, because she has a vision of Captain Picard.
Right.
I really don't get that. But anyway, it didn't.
Yeah, I didn't understand the whole getting a vision thing, because it has nothing to do with being a robot.
Yeah, maybe, right? Or android. But yeah, Android, maybe they're. I'm looking up a tweet here from Orville Nation that, let me see if I can find it, kind of said something to me, because I just recently finished watching the Expanse. And he pointed out something very interesting. Or somebody pointed it out and he retweeted it. Maybe that's what it is, because I'm not seeing it. Bring it up. Let's see. Maybe it's been a while. Let's see. Here it is. All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we see this picture. This is of the Expanse, okay? You got a renegade captain who smokes cigars and a black pilot. And then you got a renegade pilot, captain that smokes cigars and a black pilot. And he's even got a beard, just like the Expanse guy does.
Yeah.
And see, here's the problem, is that I'm going to stop sharing this. The problem is that CBS has already ripped people off. They've actually gone to court. They're actually appealing it right now, because the whole new way of travel in Star Trek Discovery was actually ripped off of a video game.
Hi, Raging Rhino.
Hey, how you doing, sir? I appreciate you coming by. You guys, I leave these streams up in their own playlist so that everybody can watch them. We actually get a lot of views after the fact, because I think we're doing it at a time that not a lot of people can. So but anyway, so it didn't really feel like Star Trek until they did that memberberry thing at the end, brought a little tear to my eye where he said engage, and then they played the music from The Next Generation. Right. Now, my bigger problem is that right after that, I'm like, well, I want some more Star Trek, so I'm going to go watch season 2 of Discovery because I never watched it. Everybody said it was bad. You were standing behind me, and I kept. It wasn't even 10 minutes into it, and I was screaming at the screen, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. You were mad.
Oh, all right. First of all, Captain Pike doesn't know what the hell's wrong with his ship, and number 2, he gets on board the bridge of the Star of Discovery, and they start and that redheaded girl starts like salivating and like she's a teenager. She never went to the Academy or anything. It's crazy. It's stupid. So I mean, I couldn't do it. I just killed it. I'm just like, oh my God, you know. So
you're getting mad just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm turning red even.
You are.
But the thing is that it makes no sense. But anyway, you never watched Discovery.
No.
So the first season wasn't as bad as that. This second season, I couldn't even get through 10 minutes. But, you know, I mean, so you like the plot so far with Picard?
So far, yeah. I can see that there's areas that it's starting to get a little dry. So they're going to have to pick it up if they want to keep my interest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm going to keep on going. It's an okay show. I mean, I don't have big, huge problems with it yet, but it is it's not what I was expecting. You know, it wasn't what I was looking for. And then, so, I mean, I'm just going to go back and watch The Next Generation with you.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
We should do that. I've got a lot of to catch up. I'm trying to be able to have conversations with people about these things. So I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to go back and watch and read Star Wars books and watch Star Trek. And
I just finished the last book in the Darth Bane series, and we're going to have a book club. I'll update you on. I don't really know what day. I think it's going to be in a few weeks, and and we're doing the last book in the Darth Bane series, and I can't remember which book that is. But she's starting the Darth Bane series. I just finished it, and then I'm listening to Salem's Lot right now. And then I'm going to listen to Plagueis, which is the next one. They do them every 3 weeks. Last week was on Ryan Kennel's channel at RK Outpost. If you haven't checked him out, please check him out. And then I think it's either going to be on Lethal Lightning's channel or Callum's channel. But I'll update in the description the channel.
Bye, Raging Rhino.
Yeah, have a good time at work.
Enjoy work.
Yeah. He's in Australia, Candace, so it's already Tuesday there.
Ah.
So
he knows the future.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, she's going to catch up on all that stuff. But I wanted to get her ideas on Picard because she's a normie. She never read comic books. She didn't watch Star Trek growing up like all of us did, like I did. I mean,
I feel like that's an insult, though.
No, it's not.
Like
it's the perspective.
Like, you normie.
Well, let me explain. So, Hollywood doesn't make movies for fans. It's just a simple fact of business. They don't make like Birds of Prey that just came out or Star Wars that came out. They're corporate, so they don't want to they don't want to make a movie for the hardcore fans, because then only the hardcore fans will get it and go to it. They want to make it for everybody. So that's where normies come in. So now I've ruined you on the Star Wars thing because I bitch about it all the time.
Yes.
But the Star Trek thing you're just now getting into.
Right.
So we're gonna touch base on this again next week after you've seen the first season of The Next Generation, and then we'll discuss what you think, because I don't think they intended this to be like The Next Generation at all. It doesn't feel like Star Trek because they didn't want it to feel like Star Trek. That's the impression I'm getting.
I'm thinking that not much is going to change on my opinion, simply because a lot of your emotions of these shows and movies come from childhood memories.
Well, okay, there's that. But I think once you understand Data's arc through the show, and the fact they're using him as a gimmick for this show's plot, that's not a good thing to me. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, Brent Spinner had, I'm sure the entire crew is going to have cameos, right? I think in one of the scene reels that they show at the end of the first episode, this is what you're going to see this season. I think I saw Riker and Troy, but they're just going to be cameos. They're not involved, and that's really a shame. 7 of 9 from Voyager is going to be in it. Hugh is already in it, and he was a character in Voyager in the later seasons. But you know, I mean, I'm not really sure what all's gonna. I just, if it goes and he's in space and he gets an ensemble cast around him, it'll feel like Star Trek again. But right now, it just doesn't. All right, so the next thing, do you guys in the chat have any comments or questions? No?
I guess they don't.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I wanted to talk about Joker for a little bit, because you took me to see Joker
Right.
when it came out, and we have this thing where I usually pick all the movies, and she tends to get upset after a while. And I'm like, well, you picked Joker, and she's like, I picked it for you, so I can't win. But you really enjoyed it, right, Candace?
I did, yes. I liked that it made me think. I had to pay close attention to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And I loved that afterwards we had this great big long conversation about what we got out of the movie and what was going on, and how our perspectives, the things, because our perspectives are different when we watch movies. You watch a movie as though you were going to write the movie and try to predict it.
Well,
I
lose myself in it.
Yes. I'm studying the character. I'm trying to understand them psychologically, and that's where I'm just looking more at the characters and less at the story itself.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I loved it. I mean, so here's the $1 million question. Do you think it was real, partially real, or all in his head?
I think it was partially real.
Yeah, I think it was all in his head. But I believe the director came out and said that it is partially real. Like, most of it was real.
There we go.
You know, the relationship was totally fictitious. Yeah, all in his head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They showed that at the end.
Yeah. But I kind of thought that beforehand, because there were certain things, remember I mentioned it to you,
right?
That was happening. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I really don't. So now he definitely deserved an Academy Award for that performance.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you. After watching the repeats of his speech, I think he really is Arthur. He's crazy.
Is he?
I think he's a little out there. I really do. It's really strange. Now, if you look back into Joaquin and River's childhoods, they were raised as expatriates outside of the country.
Uh-huh.
And then they came back into the country later when they were kids. I think their parents were like real hippies or something. So they didn't have a traditional upbringing. So they tend to think outside the box anyway.
Right.
The thing about Joaquin Phoenix is he says this crazy stuff, like don't drink cow's milk and all this stuff. But I truly think he honestly believes in what he's saying. Whereas most of these other numbskulls in Hollywood could care less. They're just saying it for points.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know, like Ricky Gervais said, if ISIS started a streaming service tomorrow, they'd be on the phone with their agents trying to get a spot because they don't care. They work for Apple. Apple runs sweatshops in China.
Right.
You know, I mean, most of Hollywood, all of this woke and transgender and feminist, anti-men stuff is just a sign of the times. And as soon as that pendulum starts swinging back, more and more of them are going to jump off that bandwagon. But I don't think Joaquin Phoenix will. I think he truly believes in what he's saying until somebody changes his mind.
Right.
He seems to me kind of like an open-minded person. I think he's a cool guy, and I've watched other interviews where he's done kind of weird stuff, but it makes you think. Now, there are people getting hate for the comment I'm about to make. I do not think it was fair for Parasite to be in both the foreign film category and the Best Picture category, because Best Foreign Film is the equivalent of Best Picture, and they won both of them. So it's like we're going to make sure that it wins an Academy Award one way or another. And my problem with it is that it wasn't widely released. I know I live in a smaller town outside of Dallas, so I know that we've got, 10 screens in our theater? Something like that?
Maybe, possibly 10.
And they didn't show it. I don't remember it even showing at all. And I usually watch that because I drive over there all the time. But, you know, I didn't go see 1917 either, but that's because it's a war movie. And that can take me to a bad place. So I would have been fine if 1917 won. I'd have been fine if Joker won or Marriage Story, because those are widely released films. But for Parasite to be able to win both Best Picture and Best Foreign Film, it's kind of like they stacked the deck, right? I just don't think that's where it should have gone. What do you think?
I think they're all stacked. I think that none of them make sense.
Well, the thing is that the Oscars are primarily irrelevant anymore. It's all just a platform for people to get up and spout their nonsensical political views. And then I'm waiting for the day when somebody wins one of these awards and gets up there and goes, I want to thank the people involved. And then I want to say, all you people are fucking crazy and stop talking about your politics. I'm just waiting for it because it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, that person is going to get ostracized. But
that's usually how it works.
Yeah. And I didn't watch the Oscars. I just went along and watched the aftermath because I was rooting for Joker. I was. And like I said, I'd have been fine if one of the other movies won. You know, if you take Parasite, I'm not used to this yet. You know, I don't even know if people can hear me. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you just
Okay.
fine. Can you
So-
hear me just fine?
Yeah, you're okay. You're
Okay.
using the same stuff you always use.
No, I normally have my the earbuds in with the mic.
Oh, you're just using the laptop?
I'm just using the laptop.
Yeah, I bought her a Surface for Valentine's Day. A new Surface. She had one, but it was a 3, and I think the new one's a 7.
I think so, yeah. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't say Valentine's/birthday because that's my pet peeve.
No. We're gonna go out for your birthday, or depending on what day it falls on, we're
I
gonna
believe
go
a
out.
Friday. Just saying.
Huh?
I believe a Friday. Just saying.
Well, then we're gonna have to go out the Wednesday before or the Monday after.
Yeah.
Mondays are hard though because nothing's really going on a Monday night.
Right. Since we live in a smaller town, everything's closed down on Mondays.
Yeah, but I even looked at, in Dallas, and there's not much going on Mondays.
Ah.
So, and then, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I work at night, so we can't really go out.
Right.
Okay. I got my new computer. It is a i7-9700K processor. It's got a 2070 RTX 2070 Super 8 gig video card. It's got 64 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD. I got I really don't know what kind of mic to buy, so I bought the one that was best at the lowest price. And then I got a like $40 webcam on Amazon, and it seems to be okay. It's a little wide though.
And this is all his Valentine's, birthday, Christmas present.
Everything. Now I did get a little bit of a Christmas present, but I kind of held off on a big Christmas present because I knew we were going to get this. And then I got a 32-inch gaming monitor, curved gaming monitor. So I don't think I'll ever play my Xbox again for Destiny.
I thought I'd never hear you say them words.
It looked really incredible. I couldn't believe it. No wonder the kid wanted a 144 hertz monitor. But, so let's get. I got to turn this heater off. Let's get into something that I wanted to talk about, let people know about, and that is that you're going to have a playlist of your own on the channel. We thought about doing 2 separate channels, but we both have limited amounts of time. We both work more than 40 hours a week. I work almost 60, and you work what, almost 50? Something like that.
Let's not count hours, shall we?
Yeah. So it's hard enough for us to keep up with the housework and everything, much less spend another 60 hours a week apiece on YouTube channels.
Right.
So I think what we're going to start it off, we're just going to get her known on the StoryMan channel. She already does all the art and everything for the channel.
And that's basically what it's all about.
Yeah. And so she's going to do, her series is CandiAnimates, and she's going to be learning how to use Adobe, Photoshop, Adobe, what else? Animate, Illustrator, all that stuff. So she's learning it from scratch. The problem is that you go online, even in YouTube, and you try to get tutorials, and Adobe updates their stuff like every other day, and it moves your tools around and changes their icons or
takes tools away.
Yeah, and you're following a video and it says use this tool, and you're like, I don't have that tool. Where the F is that tool?
Or I'll try to do exactly what they're doing, but it won't do the same thing. And after
because they changed it
like 50,000 times, I realized that I missed one tiny little step. Like I didn't check mark one little box.
Because they skipped it.
Because they skipped it, or I somehow missed it, or something.
Right. So, yeah. So I'm really excited about it. Because we're most likely going to get a couple of videos a day or more. Because I'm still doing my thing. I'm currently working on, I'm hoping that this story is not going to be a 40-minute long story, and that it doesn't take, because you get up over 20 minutes and people don't like watching.
Right.
They got better things to do. They're really looking for 10 to 15, 20-minute videos. So I might have to break it up into parts, but it's basically the ending of the creative writing series that I've done. So you can see concept. So you can see concept all the way out to the finished product, at least the rough draft. And that's the thing. Candace is such a big help because I'll write it out and then I'll print it and then I'll give her the copy and she'll go in and say, this doesn't make sense. I don't know what this word means. You need to change it, that kind of stuff, so that it's for everybody. So everybody can understand what I'm doing and saying. I get really pretentious sometimes. My vocabulary is big. And that's just because I think on my Audible alone, I've got over 380 books. And then I can't count how many I've read. So
when we were dating, we actually found each other on a dating site. And as we were talking to each other, I found that like every other sentence I had to pull out a dictionary just to figure out what he was saying to me.
And that's just my lexicon. That's just my vocabulary. So I'm not doing it to talk down to people, but I'm an old dude. In fact, speaking of old dude, so we were out running around today. I had to get this new computer only has one HDMI port, and it has 4 display ports. But my older monitors that I have up top, that are the straight old-fashioned monitors I'll use for work, they only have HDMI ports and DVI ports. So I had to get an adapter HDMI to display in order to get one of them plugged in. And so we were out, we got a few things, and we were hungry, so we stopped at IHOP. And we try to budget our food because we eat keto, and that can get expensive when you're eating just when you're declining to have the starches. So you eat a lot of steaks and things like that. Well, she was concerned about the price of her meal, and I'm like, don't worry about it. We got the money. We just go ahead and eat. So we eat. It takes a long time. And finally, they give us our check, and our check is like $12. And I'm like, this ain't right. So I look, and there's a discount. I'm like, oh, cool. They gave us a discount. I don't know why, but here. I handed her the receipt because I put the $5 tip on there and handed her the receipt. And she's going to sign it. And she's like, they gave us the senior discount. I'm like,
and the look on your face.
I was 46 years old. I am not AARP yet.
He goes, his face is like this. And I just couldn't stop laughing.
It's crazy.
He just looks so disappointed.
It's just, I'm like, why? It's the gray in the beard. I need to get some Just for Men again.
Well, and you were wearing your hat, and so that's all you saw was the gray. When you take your hat off, I can see color up there.
Well, I need to get a haircut so I can spike my hair and I don't look so ancient. But I need to trim my beard too.
Hi, Soul Assassin, by the way.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know, right? He's laughing at me. But that's one of my things. I mean, they keep sending me the membership card for AARP. I'm like, I'm not 55 yet. Stop it. And the reason they do that is because my dad has my same name. So because I'm the second and he's the first. And he didn't want to name me Junior. So I'm the second. So they send me all the stuff for his AARP and Medicare supplements and
do you give it all to him?
yeah, early bird special, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, I took the discount. I didn't say anything. I mean, we ate buy one get one free, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was BOGO.
Senior discount BOGO. Like, uh-oh. I need to start working out or something. Get some moisturizer. But
Rogaine.
yeah. Oh no, don't talk about my forehead getting big. That's crazy.
You know I love you.
I know. Yeah, she's 10 years younger than me. 9?
9.
Well, be 9 years younger than me next at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably do a birthday stream that night, even though I'm working. We'll do a birthday stream, but I'll take you out probably the Wednesday before, depending on when the paycheck falls. But yeah, it was just one of those. We went to Walmart afterward, and I thought really hard about getting some color for my beard.
I don't think you should. I've told you I like that salt and pepper look.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm a little self-conscious about the age thing. I didn't go through my midlife crisis at 30 or 40 like most people do. So maybe it's 50.
Don't go through it now. No.
No, I think I am kind of because I got
No.
my new computer. So, but I'm
If
happy.
that's as far as it goes, then we're okay. No more than that.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't want to be rude, so I took the discount, right?
I think he was talking about me. I was being rude to you.
No. But yeah, so yeah, I agree, Soul Assassin. Gray means experience. So
I'm not gonna talk about what kind of good experience I have with you.
Let's not go there. This well, I did put it's not for people under 18.
Okay, good.
But I don't know. Some of those soy boy kids out there nowadays wouldn't know what I was talking about either.
I called you a soy boy the other day.
Yeah, whatever. It's because I cried at the end of Picard whenever he said engage and they started the music. Because they do that stuff. But yeah, but like what I was saying is I love being able to talk about this stuff with Candace because she's a normie. She didn't grow up with it. She didn't. It's not a emotional bond that she has with these IPs. So getting her perspective, she's like, "Oh, it's not that bad," and it's not. It's a decent show. It's just not what I wanted. It's not what I expected. Right.
Right. Like you had even said, it didn't feel like Star Trek.
Right. I mean, I enjoyed it well enough. I like seeing Picard. He's kind of himself, except, he's old. I don't know. I did have problems with it, and I pointed them out as they happened. Like when he got blown up and thrown 30 feet across the parking lot, and he just wakes up on his couch with no problems.
Yeah, that was a little crazy.
He should have been, at least a broken hip at his age. My grandmother broke her hip just by bending over to pick up a piece of trash. So there's that. And I get that the Doge was a android, so she had superpowered muscles, but I thought they were supposed to be undetectable as humans. So wouldn't that mean if they were undetectable as an android and mimic humans exactly, then how does she have the extra bone density and muscle density to be that strong? I never understood it.
I always just assume that they'll explain later.
No, they won't. They'll never
They
explain
won't.
that.
Good, Soul Assassin. I'm so glad because sometimes
Well,
I zone out when he's talking about Star Wars or Star Trek because I don't understand a word he's saying.
well, I'm one of those. Normally, back when I was growing up, you were either a Star Trek fan or a Star Wars fan, and they didn't kind of go together. But I love Star Wars from the moment it came out because that's the first movie I ever saw. And I gotta quit. I gotta get a better place to put my green screen because I keep leaning back against it. But I would, it was the first movie I ever saw, so I fell in love with it from I was 3 years old. So from then on, it was Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. That's when the expanded universe book came out. I devoured them, every single one, and I refuse to call it Legends. It's still my EU. So that's what I do. But at the same time, I lived in a rural area. We only had a couple of channels, but Star Trek: The Next Generation played constantly on one of those channels. So I fell in love with that as well. And then that led into DS9 and Voyager and Enterprise. And I, unlike other people, loved Enterprise. But that's because I was a huge Scott Bakula fan. Because I, grew up on Quantum Leap. So I even tried to watch NCIS New Orleans and couldn't handle it because his New Orleans accent is atrocious. But so there's that, and so I think what's going to happen with all this stuff is that they're going to course correct. Hollywood's going to quit being stupid. Well, they're never going to quit being stupid, but they're going to quit pushing the agenda because eventually the corporations that run them are going to be like, look, we can't do this anymore. We're losing too much money. And there is a time and a place for a feminist movie, an anti-men movie. There's a place for that, right? It's not in stuff that currently exists. They need to make that themselves. The socialist all that stuff, all the far left stuff they want to push into our movies. There's a place for that. They can make their own stuff and do that, and people will watch it
every now and then. And those are good. Like, for instance, my favorite of all movies is called Bad Moms. That's kind of a feminist movie. I kind of like it because it's the whole moms go rebellious sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that would be the place for it. It's not taking over anybody else's stuff.
It's like, so the weeks leading up to Birds of Prey, and we had all these trailers. Everybody was saying, oh, well, stop complaining about it. It's not made for you, right? Because we were like, oh, they're man bashing, and Ewan McGregor, to me, Ewan McGregor is kind of like Mark Hamill. I love the man for the roles that he plays, and he plays them very well, but I cannot stand their personal opinions in politics. I just can't. So, and this guy's talking about misogyny when he cheated on his wife with somebody who's even in the movie with him. So, I mean, it's all fake. They don't believe in any of this crap. I think Ewan McGregor said what he said because he was told to say it by the marketing team. All that stuff that they're out there, everything they say about their movies has got to be scripted, right? Because these movies are made by corporations. They're not made by anything like that. Yeah, and I had that on my list. I just haven't had time lately. In fact, all weekend I was been stressing about putting videos out because I think I put the last video out on a Thursday. Candace?
I have
You
no
remember?
idea. I don't remember.
But anyway, and she can tell you, I tried to work all weekend from my laptop and it was shutting down every like hour. It would just die. Now it was plugged in and it was bypassing the battery, but once I replaced the battery, that took me an hour and a half because it's a gaming laptop and you had to take about 1,000 screws out to get to the battery. It started working okay. So that's why I was able to go ahead and Candace made your video on your laptop or your phone?
On my phone.
Okay. And then she sent it to me and I used my laptop to put the intro and outro on it and get it uploaded. But I was afraid to work on a video or do a live stream because I was afraid the computer would just die on me. In fact, I'm giving that computer to my stepson, and he's gonna love it. I can't wait to see him actually start playing games on it, because it's still okay. It's a Asus ROG, one of those 20-pound laptops that it's got a 965M video card in it, a 512 SSD. So am I boring you, Candace?
No, you weren't. Well, maybe a little, yes.
But he's gonna love it.
Zoned out for a moment. Sorry.
And he's autistic, so the visual will be so much better than the computer he has that he's going to be able to get into his games a little bit better. And he wants to start a Twitch channel, so I got to figure that out.
If it's free, is Twitch free?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I've watched things on Twitch. I don't know anything about it. I just got to look it up.
Well, watching would be free, but doing what he wants to do on Twitch, I don't know if that's free.
It's kind of like YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So, I've just got to figure that out, get it set up. I'm actually resetting Windows on that laptop right now so that I can install his Steam account and all that good stuff. But, so we've gone over Joker and Star Trek. And we talked about your series of videos. Now, you're going to show some of the stuff you've already done, right? In your first few videos. And then you're going to live stream. Are you going to live stream you actually working on stuff?
Some of it is going to be me live streaming. And then some of it is going to be me trying to figure it, and just, the camera zoomed in on just me trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say, Soul Assassin, was I do plan on checking out Doomcock's video on that because I get a lot of my information from Doomcock and Nerdrotics, and Gary and Doomcock are great. Now, I don't always agree with them, but I agree with them more than I don't. So it's always interesting to watch. I think Doomcock's a little harder on things than I am. But he's a purist, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I definitely going to do that. And then Candace is I really want her to try and do a video or a live stream every day that she can. There's going to be a few days like Friday when she gets home really late, and then has to get up early the next day. And then Tuesday you get home kind of late, right?
It's usually Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays that I get home late.
Yeah, Sundays is really late. That's the latest you work.
Yeah.
So probably 3 or 4 videos a week. I think she's going to start out just doing 1 video a week.
Probably with just one until I can figure out what the heck I'm doing, video wise.
I'm still figuring out what the heck we're doing. And I talked to Ryan at RK Outpost. I talked to Mary over at Mary Mayhem, and I've talked to Rookie Critic. They're still trying to figure it out. I mean, nobody has a handle on it yet, really. And I'm just happy. I mean, we logged in today and I had 122 subscribers. So, yay! Yay! We've gone in.
Happy dance.
Since January 20th, we've gone up at least 100 subscribers. but I'm also working on it and promoting it. And I love promoting other people and going on and watching other people's streams and their videos and promoting them and retweeting them. So Mary said, people notice that, I'm like, I'm not doing it to get noticed. I'm doing it because I like it. I mean, this community is probably one of the greatest communities that you could have. And I think got to thank God that we have the internet like we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have met the people that we've met, right? We wouldn't be in this. Basically, Hollywood would be rolling over us with whatever they wanted.
And you're not doing it to get subscribers. You're doing it because you legitimately like these channels, and I can tell because you're always listening to them. I mean, there's times when I actually have to ask you to pause and stop so that I can talk to you.
Yeah, she's a massage therapist, so she works Sundays. I work Sundays. We tried going to church and working because technically I'm off in time to go to church, and she's getting up. Doesn't have to go until after lunch on Sundays.
Then I changed my hours. Now I do.
Well, you go in at 11:30 now.
Yeah.
But you could still hit the early service at some of them. The problem with that is that we don't have time to get cleaned up, get ready, go. And then she would have to come back and change her clothes because she has a uniform. And then
eat.
And then I haven't slept because I work 15 hours on Saturday and Sunday each day. So I work 30 hours in 2 days. So I'm exhausted by the time, Monday rolls around, and I can't interrupt my sleep on Sunday, or otherwise stuff doesn't get done. And I don't want to ruin this job. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Second best thing that's ever happened.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
You got to think before you talk.
You're just lucky you're far away. I can't slap you.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Maybe I shouldn't have got that little splitter for the headset, because I thought we would both be in here, maybe, but I think that the office is just a little small for that.
And that's why I wanted to be in here, is because I knew that already.
Yeah. And so.
And when I am sitting there next to you, I end up being behind you and looking more over your shoulder.
Yeah. 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 Because I just don't have enough room at the desk.
Nope.
So I have more room than I did now that I got rid of the laptop. And I was able to move some things around. Because with the laptop, I don't like using the laptop keyboards, those chiclet keyboards. I can't type. I type about 120 words on a mechanical style keyboard. And oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a smart person right there.
And then, but a chiclet keyboard, I can't hardly type at all. So that's my age. I'm showing my age. Again.
You're always talking about your age. When I was a kid.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Wow. Wow. You went there. Okay. You got to remember, I control the channel, though. You can't upload anything without me.
Are you really going to go there?
No.
No.
No. Yeah. How'd you like the thumbnail I used for this? Did you see it?
Are you talking about the one that's like right in the corner there?
No. For the, like, if you search the channel, and it popped up and says that, the little thumbnail of the Monday Night Musings, I changed it.
All right, let me go look.
I love that picture.
It only showed it for a millisecond before it went into the actual show.
Oh. Let's see. Let me see if I can.
So, Soul Assassin, how was your day? Well, we're waiting for him to pull up what he's pulling up.
That is let me see if I can. Well, I didn't want to start it. What if it gives me another viewer?
You are your own viewer.
But yeah, I mean, let's stop sharing. But yeah, it's just a night, like a Templar night kneeling.
Oh, okay.
Because there's something that people are not understanding in this day and age. They're confusing two words. They talk about everyday misogyny, right? And they're confusing that word with the word chivalry. It is not misogyny to open the door for a female.
I agree.
It is not misogyny to pull out a chair for a female. It is not misogyny to defer to the fairer sex. That's chivalry.
Right.
And if they don't like it, just say so. I'm going to tell this story.
I was wondering where this was coming from.
When I first got out of the military, my first job was working for Intuit for QuickBooks. And I had to take an 8-week course to be able to support QuickBooks. And the very first week I was on the floor on my own taking calls. I was doing okay. But I get a call from an accountant in New York. And she says to me, well, I can't type numbers in QuickBooks. It won't allow the numbers. So, of course, the very first thing I asked her was if she had. I said, ma'am, can you check and make sure your numlock is depressed? And she literally ripped into me, telling me not to call her ma'am.
Oh.
Yeah, that she was insulted by the fact that I called her ma'am, that she was every much as good as a man, blah, blah, blah.
Did you start calling her sir?
Now this happened in 2000. So this was a while back, right? 20 years ago.
Right.
And so I said, I apologize. I'm from the South and I just got out of the military. So it's my natural inclination to say ma'am. So I apologize. And so she yelled at me and called me stupid and told me, of course, she had checked and made sure her numlock was depressed. So this went back and forth for about 4 hours. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And I did not want to ask her to check again to make sure her numpad was locked. Back then, you couldn't just log into somebody's computer and show them. You had to walk them through. And what we had to have was, we had to have QuickBooks on our own computer so we could walk through the steps to do stuff as we were telling them how. And so after this time, the lady she gets exasperated and she says to me, is there not a woman there that can help me? And I couldn't help myself. I had to say, no, ma'am, they're all out getting me coffee right now. I heard a thump and I looked back and my supervisor, who was like 4 or 5 desks behind me in the aisle, was on the floor laughing. He was rolling on the floor laughing because he had been, whenever a call gets to a certain point in time, they have to start listening to make sure you're doing everything right. And he lost it. So I put her on hold and he apologized to her and transferred to another agent. And I think she ended up actually getting a female. We only had a few, but it turned out that her numlock was not depressed. So he was going to write me up and ended up not writing me up because I did the very first thing I asked her was what happened. She was just angry, an angry person. Of course, she's from New York, and New Yorkers, especially somebody in a job like accounting, that's in New York, can't be a stress-free life, So, yeah.
Well, I like it when you open the doors for me and take my jacket for me.
Well, that's why we get along, right? That's
Well,
part of the
because
reason.
I know that you're not doing it because you think I can't. You're doing it to be polite and nice.
Well, that's just it, and that's the thing. That's the way I was raised. So people want, people want to complain and bitch and moan about all this stuff, and I can disagree with somebody, but say, hey, he may have a valid point from his point of view because he grew up differently. He was raised differently. He comes from a different place than I do, and we're not all the same. We don't all have the same influences. So from one person's point of view, it may look wrong. From another person's point of view, it doesn't. Now, that doesn't mean everything should be that way. What they're doing to our movies and our IPs and it's just insane. Less than 1% of people care about any of these issues, right?
Right.
So they market Birds of Prey to ultra super hyper feminists, right?
Okay.
And then, we complain about what they're doing to the comic book characters that we know and love, the hardcore fans do.
Right.
And they come out and tell us it's not for men. Okay. So men don't go see it. And now they're bitching that it failed because men wouldn't go see it.
Right.
Well, was it made for me?
I know.
So,
and I didn't want to see it. So I guess I'm the one to blame.
Well, normies didn't go see it, did they?
I guess not, because I didn't go see it.
I don't know who went and saw it. YouTubers who wanted to do reviews saw it.
Yeah. I saw lots of pictures of empty seats.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I am going to watch it when it comes out on video or Netflix or whatever it comes out on, just to see it, because people are saying it's not so bad. We'll see you later, Soul Assassin. I didn't see that chat yet, so
I know.
We appreciate it. I don't know if we're going to go that much longer. It's been a really long day. I didn't sleep much today. I had to stay awake because I was just terrified that they were going to put a note on my door saying that I had to wait another day for this computer to come in.
No, the dog let us know that there was somebody there.
Yeah. So, but we're going to do this every week, the Monday Night Musings, and we're going to, once she starts getting some stuff on the channel, we're going to start featuring during this what she's been working on, right? So I know that some people, I've asked around, some people say it's just fine, you're not monetized yet, so don't worry about the algorithm just yet. You can split her off into her own channel after. And some people are like, no, dude, you need to have a separate channel. But I don't want us to I want at least one of us producing content all the time on this channel. And because I think doing two channels is just gonna grind us into the ground.
Yeah.
The kids can do their thing on Twitch or whatever, but it's about writing for me. It's about storytelling. And that's the way I look at these things from that perspective, is from that story perspective. So it's a little different than the other perspectives that you're seeing out there. That's why I love the book club that the EU guys are doing. And I love being able to be a part of that, because they let me come on and talk about what I see in the writing. But yeah, any of you got anything else to say? I know Soul Assassin had to leave.
Who all's out here? Who do we got?
We just got a couple of people watching still, so so he had to split. I just figured out how to do that.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's right about that. They
I saw that video.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But so I think we're going to wrap it up. We tend to ramble when we don't have a lot of people in chat. I know there's a few people that are out. I ramble anyway, but and part of that's because I'm tired. And it's weird because I'm looking at the screen that I have it on, but the camera's over here, so I don't know how to fix it. I can't put this on the main screen because it shines. It's really bright.
So what I'm hearing is that you have too many screens.
No, no, believe me. If I have to log into a server and do work, I need my tickets on one screen. I need the computer I'm logged into on another screen, and then I need my communications, my emails, and my chat with work down on the bottom screen. If I don't have that, then I get confused. It helps me with a multitask. But yeah, see how bright my forehead is? So I'll put it back up there.
I just see your eyebrow go up and down, up and down.
Yeah. I can wiggle my ears too.
I just see your eyebrows going up and down.
You don't see them wiggling?
No. Oh, there we go. There's the wiggle.
Yeah, I saw I was raised around, the Little Rascals. I saw that at a formative age, so I actually figured out how to wiggle my ears.
Watch that again.
Yeah. Well, I mean the old school, the black and white.
Yeah. I used to watch those. I want to watch that.
I think if you got caught watching the original Little Rascals, they would throw you in jail for racism.
That is true. There's a lot of really bad stuff in there.
Yeah, poor Buckwheat.
Yeah.
Even his name.
But he was one of the best characters.
Yeah, he was a very good physical actor even as a child.
I think I saw that they're on like Netflix or something, aren't they?
The old ones? I don't think so.
No?
No, it's kind of like you're not allowed to even talk about Huck Finn anymore.
I know.
Tom Sawyer. So,
and those are good books too.
Yeah, they want to change them.
I'm sure they do.
If they haven't already.
They probably want to turn Tom Sawyer into Tina Sawyer or something.
No, they want to take the word nigger out.
Oh, well, that I could understand.
No, it's not the way it was written.
I know it's not the way it's written.
And that wasn't a bad word at the time.
That is true.
It evolved into one. And I think they say Negro a lot in it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use that word now. I mean, I just said it, but it was in context.
Yes.
Because words have meaning, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I wouldn't call somebody that now, but that was part of the story. That was part of the times. And it shows how bad the times were then, right? It shows how mistreated the African-American community was at the time, right? And it was actually part of his name. They called him N. Jim, right?
Right.
So that it was a character. It was his name. So I just don't see the point. If we erase all that stuff, nobody's going to learn from it, and we're just going to repeat it.
That is true.
History repeats. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you hanging out with us. As we grow, we'll get more people, we'll get more content to be able to talk about, and be able to interact more with the audience. So I do appreciate it. And as always, Candace, would you like to say anything? Parting words?
Watching us, and don't forget to watch my shows too, and give me some input and help me out.
Yeah. So remember, you're the writer of your own story. Make it a great one. Have a good night.
Bye.